You see her bent over, her body trembling. She falls to her knees. Not from pain, not from shame, from sheer desperation. She doesn't know he's watching. Her husband, standing in the doorway, silent, heart pounding. In those few seconds, time stretches. Everything she's held inside, the unspoken fears, the weight of what she's carried, all pour out in a wave. What made her reach that moment? What pushed her past staying silent? You're about to hear a story of hidden scars, unexpected love, and a truth that changes everything. Stick with me, because by the end, you'll see how confronting your deepest fear can bring the greatest power, and how one witness can transform a collapse into a breakthrough. Imagine a woman, strong when people look, always smiling. She's the dependable one. The one who says, "I'm okay," even when she's not. She holds the house together. She takes care of children, bills, the daily grind. She's carried burdens nobody sees. Disappointment, quiet dreams dashed, harsh words unspoken, love withheld. She's carried memories that sting, silence that stretches into midnight, and expectations she could never fully meet. She's skilled at hiding her hurt. She's learned to keep going, breath by breath. But pain stored isn't neutralized, it accumulates. And eventually, every payload becomes too heavy. There was no warning, no dramatic fight, no thunderclap. Just a day that looked normal: morning coffee, children off to school, a quick hug. But inside, her heart was bleeding. She thought about things she never dared mention. A dream she gave up. A promise he made and forgot. The nights she stayed awake, replaying conversations. The days she realized okay had become her mask. That mask cracked that afternoon. Because you can only plaster smiles over broken parts for so long. She let the tears come. She let the breath catch. And then, without guarding, without stage, she sank to her knees. He steps in the doorway. He freezes. Confusion, shock, guilt. They flicker on his face. He didn't know. He didn't notice the longing in her eyes, the depth of her quiet. He always thought everything was fine. How could he miss those small cracks? But watching her now, raw and real, he sees his world differently. He sees neglect. He sees that his silence was louder than his words. He sees that love is not just the grand gestures. It's in the noticing, the small touch, the check-in, the listening. He wants to move closer, but he waits, unsure how to cross the space between them. She opens her mouth to speak, but words fail. What she wants is simple: see me, hear me. She fears judgment. She fears he'll say, "Why didn't you tell me sooner?" But also guilt, perhaps she should have. There's shame in needing, shame in being fragile. And she struggles with what to say. I feel lonely. I feel unseen. I feel burdened. Each phrase heavy. Each emotion vulnerable. And she realizes, it is okay to need. It is okay to crumble. It is okay to reveal that which you fear might break you. Because perhaps that is the way through. Through ruins to repair. He takes a step. Quiet, gentle. He kneels beside her. Not to fix, but to witness. He doesn't ask what's wrong immediately. He lets her breathe. He lets her cry. His heart heavy with regret, but also hope. He puts his hand on her back. Soft, steady. He says nothing, but presence speaks. Then he whispers, I didn't see. I'm sorry. Not perfection. Just truth. No blame. Just acknowledging the pain. He listens. He asks open questions. He lets her name the hurt. And she begins. Speaks in shards. Gathers pieces. He holds space. He lets her story unfold. When you're seen, when your pain is heard, healing begins. She speaks of dreams lost, of wanting him to understand, of nights spent pretending, of the weight she carried alone. He listens without interrupting. He doesn't fix. He acknowledges. I understand more now. He doesn't promise perfect answers, but he promises attention. He promises to do better, to try, to be present. She breathes. She sits up. She looks at him, and she sees him trying, not perfectly, but fully with love. The air between them changes. A burden lifts after that moment. Nothing magical fixed overnight. But small changes follow. He begins to check in. How are you truly today? She begins to speak earlier. She learns it's safe to ask. He learns to listen without solution first. They set new habits, morning talks, gratefulness, sharing burdens. They build a map of what hurts, what helps. She forgives him for missing signs. He apologizes for times he was distant. They rebuild trust, piece by piece, with patience, with humility, with vulnerability. Because true marriage is not just standing together in good times, it's showing up in the broken ones. This story holds deeper truths. Vulnerability isn't weakness, it's courage. Falling to your knees may feel like shame, but it can also be a portal to honesty, to connection. Presence, one person simply being there, can change everything. It means more than words, more than gifts, more than grand plans. It means shared moments, noticing, not turning away. It means acknowledging what's hidden. It means staying when it's messy. Advanced love looks like seeing someone's soul cracks and honoring them anyway. It looks like healing after hurts. It looks like repairing what was broken by neglect, by silence, by unspoken expectations. In time, she stands. Stronger, more herself. Not because the wounds disappear, but because they became part of her story. Because she was allowed to be known. The collapse became a catalyst. Her husband, once unaware, becomes an ally. Their marriage becomes deeper, richer. They see new dimensions of love. They communicate more honestly. They forgive more fully. They lean on each other. And she realizes, falling to her knees didn't break her. It opened her. It taught her she deserves being seen. And him, watching, learned that love isn't a spectator sport. It requires witnessing, commitment, presence. From the deepest pain, she rose, not by hiding, but by letting someone see. And that's how she reached the top, not over others, but over her fears. Not by perfection, but by truth. Not alone, but together.